Okay, so welcome to part 2 of my little sculpting series. So in the video before this, you can look and find that in the description below. I'll put a link to it. I showed you guys the basics of brushes and settings in Blender, and I made a basic like sculpture that has no details, so we're going to be using to make this guy. So the base mesh, you can see how to make that in the description below. Go check that video out. I'll also be making that one in the previous video available on my blend swap page for free, but blend swap might reject it. They have rejected some of my sculpts in the past because they say it doesn't meet the quality standards for whatever reason. So this is where we're going to be sculpting anyway, and I will warn you, there's going to be quite a bit of clicking from my mouse in the audio. So if that annoys you, you don't have to watch the video. And also I'm going to be doing a little bit of a time lapse on some of the detailing, and there's not going to be any sound or audio, so that might annoy some people as well. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoy learning how to make this sculpture here. And yeah, this is it. Okay, so what we're going to do is just with the alien base, we're going to make sure we go to our sculpting again. We just want to go to this tab here, go down, and also make sure that dynamic topology is enabled. It's going to give us a warning as usual. We're just going to hit OK. The settings we're going to be going with for this is we're going to go to the resolution. We're going to make it 10, and then we're going to come down here to the detailing, and we're going to make it a relative detail. Okay, just set it back to 10 again. Okay. So just set this to relative detail and set this to 10 pixels. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to start by making the sockets for the eyes here. We're going to be making the general head shape. To do that, what we're going to do is go over here to the clay strips brush. This is going to be a brush we're going to be using most of the time. It's super useful. And what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the radius is about this big. Okay, so just if we go a little bit closer, we can hit F just to make it a bit bigger. Okay, so just about 83 pixels should be okay, and we want to be about this far away. And what we're going to do is we're going to hold in control right about here, and we just make little circles. We're just going to be making a big cavity here. This is where our eye is going to be sitting. And what we're going to do is we're going to hold in shift, and we're just going to smooth this out a little bit like that. Nothing too much. We're going to zoom in closer here, and we're going to do it again, holding in control. We're just making an indent here. This is where the eye is going to sit, and we'll hold in shift, and we're just going to smooth it out. So you should have something that looks like this. What we're going to do now is just go out of here. We're going to go to our object. Let's go into our front view here. We're going to go Shift A. We're going to go to Mesh Options, add in a UV sphere. Go to Object. We're going to enable Shade Smooth. Then we're going to go G and just bring this guy up here. I'm going to go S and scale it down. Just move it up. Go to the right orthographic view and go G and just move it forward to about here. Scale it down a bit. If we want an eye that's about this big, we're going to go to our mirror modifier, add a mirror modifier, and then we're going to go here and click on the little eyedropper and select our base mesh here. And we should be able to move it in just a little bit closer. So we want them positioned right here. Okay, just like that. With that done, we're going to select our sculpt here. We're going to go back to our sculpt mode. Just make sure to enable dynamic topology again. It'll say OK. And now we can start sculpting some of the detail around this eye, but we're not going to go too crazy at first. So select the clay strips brush here, and we're just going to make sure the strength is about 0.6. The radius here, we can hit F to adjust it. So we're going to go something like this. Come in here, and we're going to go like this. With the clay strips brush, and then we're going to come down here and we're going to do a similar thing. Just make a nice strip of clay over here, and then what we're going to do is holding in control, we're going to come here and just make an indent here like a groove. Do the same thing over here, just a little bit like this. Hit F to make the brush a little bit smaller, and we want to look up like this, and we want to hold in shift, and we just want to use the smooth brush, and we just want to smooth this out. So holding in shift is going to make this a smooth brush. Hit F to grow it a little bit, and then hold in shift again and just smooth this out. And we're going to go up here and just smooth this as well. So we can see here at the beginning of our eye socket. We're then going to go and click on the draw brush here. We're going to hit F to make it small. We're going to get closer here, and we're going to start here, and we're going to go here like this, and we're going to add in our eyelid. And then we're going to go back with a second pass, like this. Hit F to make it a little bit bigger. And all we're doing is just adding a little bit of an eyelid down here. Then what we're going to do is do the same thing up here. And it's very rough at first, but we will refine it a little bit later. come to here, and then once again do another pass back just to here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to hold in shift and just smooth this down here, and hold in shift and just smooth it up here like that. Also just smooth it over here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go to our grab brush, hit F to grow it a little bit, and what we're going to do is pull these eyelids in a little bit. Now this is where you can make it as little or as much as you want. It's totally up to you. But I'm just going to bring my eyes in here, just filling up all the little areas that I couldn't do properly with the draw brush. Just making everything look nice and even. Super simple, just grabbing the grab brush here and just manipulating these eyelids here. Bringing them in a little bit, nothing too difficult at all. Just creating our initial eyelids here. We'll definitely come in here later and refine things a little bit, but just something like this for now should be fine. Maybe bring it in there a bit. Okay, so let's get started with some of the other details. We're going to go back to our clay strips brush here, and we're going to hit F just to shrink the brush a little bit. And let's start adding in some of the details down here. So first of all, we're going to hold in Control. We're going to come over here, and we're just going to come down, and we're going to make a ridge running down here. Hold in Shift to smooth it out. And then what we're going to do is come here to the front. We're going to hit F to shrink it even more. Hold in Control. We're going to make a ridge like this. We're also going to come here, holding in Control, make a groove here, and then make a groove here. Then we're going to hold in Shift, and we're just going to smooth this out. So just smoothing it out like this for now. And holding Control, we're going to just do this here. Kind of make like a triangle here, and then just smooth it out as well. So what we're doing here is just creating the rough structure of our face. We're also going to come here to the front. We're going to go to our crease brush here, and we're going to start here, right about here. We're just going to make a crease, and we come out here to this point. Okay, and go back one more pass, and we're just going to leave it at that. We're going to go back to our grab brush. We're going to hit F to grow it, make it quite big. Go to your right orthographic view. Then we're going to hit the corner of this mouth, grab it, and just pull it back a little bit like this. We're also just going to grab this ridge here, bring it in a little bit. Just bring the whole face back. And just bring this jaw in a little bit as well. And just bring this down here. Just this sort of shape for now. Then we're going to go back to our clay strips. Hit F to shrink it a little bit. And then we're going to hold in Shift and just smooth this out a little bit around here. Just smoothing all of this out. Smoothing out the jaw here and smoothing out down here as well. Okay, so what we can do is with the clay strips brush, we're going to come over here, just add a little bit more definition to the chin, down here as well. Hold in Shift just to smooth out our clay strips here. Come to the bottom here, hold in Control, and we're just going to make a little bit of a cavity here. Hold in Shift and just smooth that out like this. And then what we're going to do is hold in Control. We're going to just come up here, make a little bit of indent here, and then Shift to smooth it out as well. So we're just getting the rough structure of the face here. Smooth that out. Okay, so I'm going to leave this at that for now, and I'm just going to start working a little bit here on the neck. So with the clay strips brush, we're going to come, just make it a little bit smaller. We're going to start right about here, and we're going to just make a big stroke all the way down here to the bottom of the neck. So just to about here. Then we're going to just hit Shift and smooth it out. And then we're going to do another pass. We're going to come here and just work our way down to here, and then Shift and just smooth it out. And now what we're going to do is we're going to hold in Control. We're going to come over here, make a ridge, Shift, and then smooth it out. And we're going to do Control, make a groove here, and then also just Shift and smooth it out. Okay, so what we're doing is just creating the structure of the neck here. We're going to do it one more time with the clay strips brush. We're going to start up here and come down to here, and just do it one more time. And then Shift to smooth it out, but we're going to just bring the strength down a little bit, and then Shift and then smooth it out one more time like that. So you can see the structure of the neck taking place here. And what we're going to do as well is we're going to start working on the structure of the abdomen here. So we're going to just bring the strength down a little bit on the clay strips, hit F to shrink it a little bit, cut our front view, and what we're going to start doing is adding in some strips of clay here. So we're going to start down here, just building up some strips like this. We're building these muscles at the front, just like that. And we're going to bring these ones kind of down into the arm a little bit over here. Just adding in these strips of clay here, like this. And then what we're going to do, once we've done that, is we're going to hold in Shift, and we're just going to give it a light smoothing out like this. Not too much. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come down here and add in some strips of clay, just a strip over here. And then one down here. Just adding in some muscle detail here. Holding Shift just to smooth it out very lightly. As you can see. And we can come here, add in some muscles going around here. And then do the same thing just down here. Some muscle detail. Shift just to smooth it out. Okay, so there we have that getting, it's getting there. So what we're going to do is go to the back here, and on the back we're just going to do a little bit of detailing here as well. With the clay strips brush, we're going to add in some strips of clay coming down here like this from the back. Then we're going to hold in Shift, just smooth it out after we've made these strips of clay, and we're just creating these muscles here at the back. Shift to smooth it out, just like that. So we don't have to do too much there at the back. And okay, it's starting to look really good. What we can do is just come here to the arm, add some definition here. So we're going to add in a strip here, one up here, just one here as well. Just working our way around, adding strips of clay. And then we're going to come here, add one along here. We're going to hold in Shift and just smooth it out a little bit as well. Just like that. Okay, so now we've added a little bit more, just made the arms look a little bit better. We're not going to be actually adding the arms, but just the shoulders here. So now we have the muscle structure laid out the way we want. We can just start working on the face a little bit more as well. So what we're going to do is come up here. We're going to hit F just to shrink our brush. Hold in Control, and we're just going to create a little bit of like, just holding Control and just do this here. It's just too fleshy here. We just want to knock it in a little bit. And then Shift just to smooth it out. Okay, so now what we can do is we can get our grab brush again. We can hit F just to make it larger. Then we can grab these eyelids here. If we've messed them up, just readjust them a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it at that for now. What we're going to do now is go to our right orthographic view. We're going to hit F to grow this grab brush quite a bit. And then we're going to come here and we're going to grab the back of the head and just drag it out further, like this. Make it a little bit wider at the back here. Then we're going to go to our clay strips brush, hit F to shrink it. And we're just going to come here and we're going to add some strips of clay here. And we're just going to give this head a little bit more volume. So just over here. So you can see just adding some more volume to the back of the head here and holding Shift to smooth things out. Just adding some more volume to the side of the head here. And this is where you can be as unique as you want to, adding in some of these details. Okay, so that is looking pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start getting into some of the finer details, just refining things. I think we've got the overall look of our alien here. I really like the way this looks, but the next part is just going to be refining this a tiny little bit. I am going to put that into time lapse, but you guys can still see what I'm doing. So just doing a little bit of refining. Okay guys, so here we have the final result. I've just added in some more details. I'm not going to go any further than this. I think a lot of the other details that could be added when we do texturing and stuff like that. But I'm really happy with the result, and yeah, it's not too complicated of a design. It's very simple. I hope you guys have been able to follow along. Like I said, I know I had to speed some of this up, but it's just because otherwise the tutorials just become too long. But I hope overall you guys have been able to get to this stage. I will be making this guy available on my Patreon, and I'll try and put all the different stages of this guy on Patreon as well, as we're going to be working on him over more tutorials. So I'll have to see when I can get to the next tutorial, but I definitely want to do more with this guy here. Hope you guys have enjoyed it, this part 2, and I'll see you guys later.